What's going on, guys? We've kicked off PowerrrOut because, well, it's just the easiest thing to do with the streaming tool that we use to launch on a timely matter. But we're not going to start right away because, there's another black and yellow wrestling brand that I know people are enjoying tonight. Don't want to step on anyone's toes. I hope you're all enjoying NXT. But we're here to talk NWA, but we're not going to do so until you're done wrapping up what seems to have become the Samoa Joe show. Zach Ralph here. I'm going to be joined by my good buddy Josiah McDonald from the Wrestling Observer. He covers the NWA beat. How you doing, friend?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. So we were kind of talking about this. It's kind of cool that Samoa Joe has secured the bag. Really good for him. But, I'm disappointed. I was really hoping I would get to see Joe versus Aldis at some time. But, he's got to do right by him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got to do what's best for his family, and I was hoping to see him in New Japan, but if he's hurting and he can't really go anymore, I'm certainly not going to blame him for choosing. And I don't really blame anyone for choosing WWE. It's safe money, so good for them.
Yeah, 100%. Good, absolutely good for Joe, especially like you say, if he's not ready to go be the Samoa Joe that we've known for about 20 years now. A speaking role is great for him with some limited physicality. Absolutely. And I don't really follow New Japan myself, so I don't really know if there's a place for someone with a heavy speaking role.
Oh yeah, he would have been fine in New Japan. Yeah, okay. Japanese wrestling has a lot of talking, but it doesn't happen in the ring very often. Sometimes there's the occasional promo mid-show or post-show, but all the talking tends to happen in press conferences in the post-match. So After you finish your match, you go backstage, you do a press conference, and that's where you cut your promo. And they're really good promos because they're completely unscripted. Everyone there knows their character. They know what's coming next. Like Minoru Suzuki was just cutting a promo on Shingo, who won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship recently. And He looked into the camera and he said, "Don't forget that I'm still here in the background. I'm coming for that title." And, just little things like that.
Right.
And I love Suzuki. He's 52 years old and going strong, and he's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. He's an unbelievable promo. He's in half the G1 once when he wasn't put in the tournament. He threatened. He said, "What if they all come down with stomach sickness? What if they all get poisoned?" He's ultimate heel. I love him.
Once again, if you're joining us, you are in the right spot if you're here for an NWA reaction show. This is just us chatting before while NXT wraps up. I think I'm getting confirmation from my buddy Spencer. Yeah. He's still letting me know that the overlay is still on. Yeah, we're just gabbing about things unrelated to NWA while NXT wraps up. Want to give everyone who's enjoying the other black and yellow wrestling brand time to finish up what they're enjoying before we start gabbing about another pro wrestling program. Now I'm getting a little exchange. And of course, now you message me, LOL, just about done on the NXT end. So he's going to let me know when we're going to start another edition of PowerrrOut. But yeah,
when you say black and yellow,
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. When you said black and yellow brand, I thought you were talking about CZW.
CZW. Thank you for Canadianizing it too. I hear a lot of CZW and I just do not accept that. CZW, the Canuck way.
That's right. And the Commonwealth way.
As it should be. Oh man, the show hasn't even started yet, and Rye is coming in with the bits. Friend, thank you so much. You know what? In fact, let me just let you know how we're going to be handling donations tonight. I'm going to run this when the program officially starts. But if you want to tell a friend that we're running a show, I'm going to match dollar for dollar. $1 for every viewer up to 30 viewers. So keep it open in multiple tabs, man. Keep us opening on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. The more viewers that we get, the higher the donation at the end of the program is going to be. I don't know if anyone in the comments is also watching NXT and enjoying it this evening, but if anyone wants to let me know that it's confirmed with me that it is indeed wrapped up, I will be glad for this information, and we will kick off another edition of Power Out.
Yes, sir.
NWA Powerrr! Good to see you, Mr. Ed Freeze. You know,
How
before
you doing,
the NWA, yeah, Ed and Rye, man, like they're just like staples in our growing little community in the pro wrestling scene.
I know, as you were saying.
Oh yeah, just wondering how everyone in the comments enjoyed before we start talking about NWA. If anyone has any thoughts. Oh no, here we go. Thank you, Ed. NXT is indeed still on. How are you guys enjoying NXT tonight? Was it a good show? Like, I mean, I've been looking at clips because if Samoa Joe's doing something, I want to see it.
As someone who's been a fan of Joe since 2003, when I first saw him in Ring of Honor, I'm always interested in what he's doing, even if it's in a company that's not my first choice for watching.
Speaking of staples, Mr. J himself, the voice of our intro, which you're going to be hearing in just a few moments once we officially kick off this episode of Power Out. Thanks so much for joining us for this little pre-show. Yeah, Ed saying it's been a really good show. Yeah, if you want to confirm one of the matches for next week, man, go ahead. Riot Levy, Mavis. Guys, you guys just make the comment section so incredibly lively. We couldn't be more grateful for having you joining us. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Main event of NXT has just ended, which is going to mean that Power Out is about to begin. Josiah, are you ready, my friend?
I'm ready as I will be.
I will see you shortly after the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, Power is over. But that does not mean for one instant of a second that the fun is over. Without a doubt, you are here because the power is out. So stick around, because it's Power Out. Yeah, it's Power Out.
What's going on, friends? Zach Ralph here from Love Wrestling. We're here for another edition of Power Out, your live reaction show to all things NWA and NWA Powerrr. Joining me today is a return guest co-host, Josiah McDonald of the Wrestling Observer, covering the NWA beat. Friend, how you doing?
I am doing all right, Zach. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I want to thank everyone who's joined us, be it live, be it on the playback on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, or if you're just catching us on podcast. Thanks so much for catching our live reaction show, or, live at the time. Also, whoever was joining us for the little experimental pre-show we were doing while everyone else was enjoying NXT. We didn't want to step on anyone's toes. We wanted to make sure everyone had time to enjoy all the wrestling content that they wanted to do this evening. But yeah, we are here to talk NWA. And before I do so, I got to point out that the Pride bits have started to come in. Rye, thank you so much for cheering for us. And actually, that brings up a very important point for tonight's episode of Power Out. As you know, Love Wrestling has proudly been raising money for the Trevor Project this month, and I'm going to do so in a very a little bit of a different way this time. What I want you to do is let everyone who excuse me, now I got like a comment and a video playing. I am just a mess at this whole playing with the desktop thing, so I'm going to restart that little video. We are going to make a donation matching our highest number of viewers, be up to $30 on tonight's PowerrrOut. So tell people that we're reacting to tonight's episode of NWA Powerrr. And frankly, you know, like, we're not tracking IPs. If you want to open up a couple tabs and open Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch on 3 different browsers, I'm not going to keep track of that. If I see 30 viewers sometime during this broadcast, then we're donating $30 to our fundraising drive at the Trevor Project. It's as easy as that. But if you want to tell a friend, that's also excellent as well. But jumbling guests already. Josiah, friend, what did you think of tonight's show?
Not bad. Not a bad episode at all. I thought it was overall much better than what they were doing pre-pay-per-view, especially since they've added fans back and they added a lot of fresh blood to the roster. I suppose that means flesh as well, since they're human. But it was a very,
as far as we know.
Yes. And I thought it was a good show for the most part.
Yeah. No product is without its flaws, and we certainly will get to them. But we're going to, as we often do, we're going to be kicking it off. We're going to be talking about the show segment by segment. We kick off with a bit of a recap of everything that happened last week surrounding Camille and Strictly Business. Ryan and I talked about this last week. The main event of last week's show was not without its flaws. It was like executed okay at best. But there is some positive about them playing this recap. And what I really liked is they are continuing to promote the women's division. And they did so right at the top of the show. I was, forgive me for saying so, I was worried that the NWA would kind of rest on their laurels, do this big promotion for their upcoming pay-per-view once, and then, I don't know, maybe not make the best effort that they possibly could.
Yeah, they went right back to it right away with that. And the first match on the show was a women's match as well.
Yeah.
And they're clear that they're intent on pushing new people in that division as well. So that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. But like the first fresh new content that we get on this episode is Kyle Davis. He welcomes Trevor Murdoch to the program. He's in much higher spirits than he's been in recent weeks since his loss to Nick Aldis at When Our Shadows Fall. Murdoch's said he's been angry, and he's been angry, wherever he's been, until he got home and his wife calmed him down simply by pointing out, like, Trevor, you had him beat. He had Aldis beat for the championship with his own finishing maneuver, and that just lit a fire of positivity under Trevor Murdoch. He's ready to go. He warns Aldis that he is still coming, and he is still coming for that national championship. And this is the fire. Rye pointed this out last week. This is the promo he should have cut the night after, but I'm glad he got there this week. Yeah,
it was a really good promo. He should have had it last week, but it was still great that he got to it, and it was very fired up. Crowd popped huge for it. It was clear they're going to position him as a very, very important babyface going forward, which I'm fine with. He's not the best worker or even the best promo, but there is something very likable about him. And I like what they're doing there. And this feud has to end with Murdoch winning the title. That's how I feel about it. At this point, you have to put the babyface over strong. I don't know when that will be. Maybe at the anniversary show in August. But yeah, actually, that would make sense. Wrestling at the Chase. Return to Wrestling at the Chase.
It would be a hell of a show, I think. I think that'd be a great opportunity to crown Trevor Murdoch as the new NWA champion. And Rise Back, he's pointing out they found a good way to weave last week into it. I couldn't agree more. Like, it was very well executed. Trevor Murdoch is, I'm sorry, I have to disagree with you, Josiah. Like, I've had to revisit my opinion of Trevor Murdoch ever since this new run of NWA. I did not know he was this promo guy. He is believable. He is just like so passionate, and he's so. You asked me 5 years ago if I think Trevor Murdoch would be one of my favorite baby faces in 2021. I wouldn't have believed you, but he's got me like rooting. Like I am all on the Trevor train, if that's a thing.
Yeah, Sorry, my webcam went out there. That was weird.
Oh, didn't.
But I when I say he's not the best promo, I mean he's not the best in the world in that.
Fair.
But he's still really great. And he's his in-ring is still very solid. Like you're not going to get a bad match from the guy. And I mean, he's 40 years old. He just turned 40, and he's having the best run of his career right now. And I think 5 years ago, if you told him that, he would have thought he was pretty much retired. And here he is, being a guy that is very important for the NWA.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And I'm very happy to see this program continue. Wasn't happy with how it ended at When Our Shadows Fall. I didn't think then was a good opportunity to crown Trevor at the time, but I still wasn't satisfied with how they got about it. Rye's got a very good point. Even at the age of 40, he's a very important part of the NWA group. Can't even get through it without corpsing. I'm sorry. It's true. NWA does have a...
Still, as soon as I saw it, I started laughing.
NWA certainly does have a youth problem. I think they're starting to get the ball rolling on that, but it's a little overdue. Can happen soon enough. We move on to the next segment. We know the protocol around this particular performer during PowerrrOut. So we're going to speak about Austin Idol. Austin Idol is pissed on behalf of his client. His client is less hostile. And they are approached by a representative of BLKGs. And, it's kind of like a repeat of what we saw last week, but without, but with some sort of proxy instead.
Yeah, I thought it was Jordan Clearwater. I think that's what it looked like.
Was it Jordan Clearwater?
I think so. I could be wrong. I could have been completely wrong. I may have got the name wrong on that. That's what I wrote in my recap, but I really don't know if it was actually him.
Oh, I feel like if it was him, and I certainly believe that's possible, like they should have maybe pointed that out. Jordan Clearwater has appeared several times on NWA programming, and for whatever reason, they didn't name him. Wouldn't put it past them, but certainly could have been. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we got confirmation. It was indeed Jordan Clearwater. And also forgive me, I generally tune out for Austin Idol's clients segments, as I have been guilty of in the past, and this very much could have been another instance of that. Do you got a takeaway from this?
I'll say Idol was great, as usual.
Yeah,
Austin Idol's awesome.
Idol's always great. Yeah.
His client, he who shall not be named, was not standard stuff for him right now. I was actually kind of hoping Austin Idol would like start managing Jordan Clearwater, and we can get him away from this other guy.
Hey, any move that takes Austin Idol away from his client would be awesome. We got a comment from BWB Network. Hopefully Kenzie Page sticks around. I'd love to see Billy Starks join the women's division. But of course, Kenzie Page, that's a perfect transition to the next match. The first match of the evening, triple threat contest between Kenzie Page, Melina, and Genocide. Interesting follow-up after last week when the conflict seemed to be between Melina and Genocide exclusively. And what would PowerrrOut be without an appearance by my cat? Everyone, this is Ticket. Please shame him in the comments. Tell him he's terrible. But aside from that, the triple threat match, pretty solid triple threat match. Kenzie and Melina, they take out Genocide early, giving them a little one-on-one time while Genocide recovers on the outside. Finish comes with Genocide missing a spear, spilling back outside of the ring, allowing Melina to get the roll-up for the win. Again, more focus on the women's division, and I'm happy to see that.
Yes. I was going to say, my roommate's cat almost made a run in a little bit earlier. He's sitting on the chair opposite of me right now, staring at me. And he may pop over and meow at some point, but I thought it was fine. I'm gonna probably say something that some people don't like, but I think Melina was the worst worker in this match, and I don't think she's very good. But she wasn't bad. She was mainly okay. But Genocide and Kenzie Page, I thought, looked great. And I don't know if putting Melina over right now is the right call. I know they're trying to do something with her in that regard, and I know they didn't want to be genocide, so that's what Kenzie Page was there for, which is fine. But I think Melina would probably be better off in the managerial role rather than in ring. With that being said, it wasn't a bad match.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got people agreeing with you in the chat room. Rye is pointing out she should not be working. She's not fully recovered from her knee issues. And frankly, I wasn't aware that those were still bothering them. I thought she was favoring them at the pay-per-view. I don't know if. Sorry, this is the. I'm just gonna hold him now because this is ridiculous. He's knocking over my. Ow. No, he's clawing me.
He just
welcome to PowerrrOut. If you're new to the program, we generally talk about the NWA and react to all things Power. But today, I have a special guest who is annoying me. This is my cat Ticket, and he won't stop. So I'm going to hold him for the rest of the broadcast, I think. Anyway, I'm just really happy to see so much focus on the women's division continue. Beginning and given the platform at the very first match of the broadcast, I was very happy to see that.
Yeah.
Any follow-up thoughts?
Yeah, not a bad match at all.
I'm just going to put you on full screen for a moment and resolve this issue because there's only so much I can do. I apologize, guys.
He's being attacked by a cat. Oh my goodness. What craziness. I'll continue with our recap going forward. Next up after that match, after Melina scored the win, we had Camille with Mae Valentine. And she said she was angry at Melina for ruining her coronation last week. She threatened Melina and said if it happens again, there's going to be hell to pay. And she gave her thoughts on Tom Latimer having to face Chris Adonis in the tournament for the national title. And then she hinted very strongly that she was looking elsewhere for her next opponent, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. I do want to dive into that because that leaves a lot of room for fun speculation there. But please, NWA, give me a segment about Camille that stays about Camille, that doesn't end up involving strictly business, not even by name. Let Camille have her moment. She deserves it. I was so frustrated when we started talking about Tom Latimer again.
Yeah, that seemed unnecessary.
Just flicking with water now.
Shooing the cat
with water. The big guns. Yeah. But yeah, looking elsewhere, very likely looking out outside of the NWA. Top of your head, man. Who you pairing against Camille?
Let me think. Hikaru Shida would be good.
Okay. Yeah.
Hikaru Shida,
thinking the AEW route. Absolutely. That would be fun. Foul Original. He joined us for the post show for When Our Shadows Fall. He pitched Jade Cargill, and I haven't stopped thinking about that since. I think that would be a hell of a showdown.
That'd be very interesting because they're both they're both bodybuilders. Right?
Exactly.
So that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, and I love a good Hoss fight. I haven't seen too many Hossette fights. I think this would be awesome. I think they would be just I can only hope for the best with a match like that. But do want to say that again, Camille is just growing exponentially week to week. She's just getting better and better, man. Her instincts seem a lot more natural when she's cutting a promo. I'm just I become a bigger fan of Camille every week personally.
Yeah, she's starting to really understand what her character is, I think. And her in-ring is improved dramatically from when she first started. Obviously working those matches with Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb really helped her. And it's amazing what just a few good matches with great workers can do for you. I think you put her in there with another few good workers and someone like Sheeta, or because AEW has a lot of good women's wrestlers, someone on there from their roster. I think she would benefit from having a series of matches on Dark. Go to AEW Dark and wrestle and squash people too. Like, defend the title every week there.
I really hope that this relationship with AEW is continuing, because it was very it was a bit of, I don't want to say it was a lifeline, but I just can't come up with a better turn of phrase right now. But having one of their champions featured or at least semi-regularly on AEW programming was that was important to them. And I think it helped them maintain a little brand equity. Ed with another one, Camille versus Swole. I absolutely love Swole. Count me in, Ed. Absolutely. Sorry, go ahead.
Nope. I'm good.
Okay. For everyone who's joining us in the middle of the broadcast, just a reminder that that we are going to match a donation to our highest number of viewers, up to 30 viewers. So, open a couple tabs. Open it up on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. Keep it all going at once. I'm not tracking IPs. All the more power, and all that money will be going to the Trevor Project. Next segment, we got PJ Hawks and Saul Renaro, along with Danny Deals, speaking with Kyle Davis. They are just, man, they do a great job of the three of them putting over the heritage of the television title. Saul Renaro, just lists the champions. He's just got it was so refreshing seeing the championship put over by someone who's known for, more of a comedy role. And I thought he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah. Sal did a great job there. He really linked the historical stuff and then brought it to the present by naming Pope as one of the great champions and saying, you know what? I really want to go for this title. I want to win it because it means something. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
You put over your champions, and it's suddenly the championship is important. Holy cow! What a concept. Let me just get this comment out of the way. No, Ed. No, Kyle did not dance, so Zach will not be dancing on tonight's Power Out. No, it's just not happening. Let the dream die, please. Please just let the dream die. Who do we got? I'd love to see Killian King or some solid talents like Willow Nightingale, Danny Jordan, Diamante. They've got just a wealth of talent. There's you could go on and on with dream matches for please guys, just let me sleep. I don't want to dance anymore. With the whole with the NWA All Women's pay-per-view coming up, we're gonna have fun speculating on the potential dream matches that are gonna be on the card, because there's gonna be partnerships with other companies. There's gotta be, and it's gonna be a fun couple weeks. But back to this segment at the surrounding the television championship. PJ Hawks starts taking the opportunity to speak about the pressures and what's the word I'm looking for? The importance of being a second generation talent. He's putting up how his dad brought him into the business and everything, and he put that over really well. But he was quickly interrupted. I was so happy to see this. Colby Carino comes out and he rips into both Sal and PJ, and he just cut a hell of a promo, ripped them apart. Hawk stands for himself, invites Carino to make their match a triple threat match, later on for the whole television championship contendership. What you think of Colby in this one?
I liked Colby Carino for the most part. He got a little lost partway through his promo, but then he decided, I'm just going to go fully. And he said it with such venom in his voice that I was like, okay, I love this.
Yeah.
You goof.
If there's a merch opportunity, you say something with enough venom and passion, you can put it on a shirt. And yeah, you goof. I buy it.
And Colby's good. So I'm happy to see him there.
In truth, I can't really speak too much about Colby Carino. We could go on for days and days about his dad. What can you tell me about Colby?
I've only seen he had on his personal life. I think he had a bit of a rough spot a few years ago, but he seems to have got himself back on track quite a bit, and he's been working indies now forever. And I think this is a nice shot for him, and the NWA is a good fit, a really good fit. He looks more and more like his dad every day. It's just amazing to see too, and he sounds like his dad when he cuts his promos. Like I could hear Steve Carino yelling in his ear.
Yeah, a lot of similar vocal color in Carino Jr. We got a match recommendation. He was fun in Ring of Honor with Whitmer and Adam Page. So
yes, I remember him being involved with that.
Right on. One I will add to my watch list, certainly. Next up, PJ Hawks is in a follow-up segment. He's got a match against NWA Tag Team Champion Aaron Stevens. Really nice mat work between the two. Hawks is able to surprise Stevens a few times, and it's just a very good, solid match. But of course, it gets thrown out the window when La Rebellion comes out. They attack Stevens. They attack Hawks. Luke Hawks, of course, comes out to save his son. Strangely absent is, of course, Junior Kratos, but either how, Luke Hawks eats the mark of the beast. And, after the match, La Rebellion pretty much just targets the tag team champions. They say they're targeting all championships, but I think we know who they are specifically targeting. What'd you think of what happened here?
So I'll preface this by saying I really like the addition of La Rebellion to the show. I think they're a really solid tag team, but I hate the no contest finish like that. There was one little thing in the match that I like to point out too, though. It started off with technical wrestling with Aaron Stevens, and as soon as PJ Hawks got the advantage in the technical aspect, Aaron Stevens took his head off with a clothesline and went to brawling. And I was like, okay, that's great. That is great little storytelling. That's attention to detail that I like. But I'm not a huge fan of non-finishes 5 minutes into a match. If you were going to attack the guys, just attack them before the match starts and don't let it. It wasn't terrible. I like all the guys involved, so that's how I'll put that. And JR, Kratos, and Stevens versus La Rebellion would be a very good match.
What did you think? You caught the pay-per-view at the end of the day, yeah? So,
yes.
So what do you think's happening between? What's your take on Stevens and Kratos?
I was really surprised that they retained the titles at the pay-per-view. And the will they, once they get along thing is kind of a tired trope in wrestling, mainly because it's overdone so much in WWE. Just like the finish, the pay-per-view, it's like, if I look at it in a vacuum, it's almost never happens in the NWA. So it's new for the NWA for their booking. But it is not, when you look at wrestling as a whole, WWE overuses all those things. And so it can kind of rub you the wrong way. And initially, that's my gut reaction to it because I've been burned by WWE so often with that stuff. But I think Kratos and Stevens are doing a really good job in their role. And even to the point where I actually like the little touch. Kratos cheated to win the last match, for sure. Yeah. But afterwards, he actually high-fived Stevens. And I was like, maybe this isn't going to lead to a breakup. Maybe this is going to lead to Stevens turning heel. Yeah, fair enough. And I would be okay with that. I would be perfectly okay with that. I'd be okay if JR Kratos turns babyface too, and they stay together as a team. Do a little twist on this, on the usual can they can't they get along, and actually let them get along. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's some interesting dynamics to work with between the tag team champions. The next segment, we got May Valentine and the mystery masked man, who is there to serve Billy Corgan's will. He's there with a singular purpose that only he and Billy Corgan are privy to. He says he hasn't wrestled yet because the NWA has not allowed it. Slice Boogie, Marche Rocket, they come in, they just rip into him. They tear him a new one. They call him a tourist for wearing a lucha mask and, wearing pretty trash shoes, whatnot. And what's really great is the masked man is just like no selling it. He's just looking at the camera and like stone cold, just it's not hitting him at all. Now the masked man has kind of already been confirmed, but so I don't really want to say it just in case like there are people who are watching and just want to be surprised. I don't know if you'll be surprised at the end of the day, but it's totally cool. Where do you think the storyline itself could be going?
So I have no idea who he is. And actually, I just saw that comment there that you put on the screen, and that's actually a really good point. I like that comment. So
yeah, we can. Sorry, I don't mean to jump back too far, but like this is a very good comment from Rye. I personally like the no finish. We're of course talking about Stevens versus Hawks. Sets up a nice Hawks family La Rebellion tag match. Also leaves it fresh for Stevens to go do a save, get a beat down. Yeah, I think that'd be a very seamless way to move the tag team division forward. All for that. But yes, masked man. Back to it. Yes.
So I'm one of the people where I haven't looked up who this is. I could have probably found out if I wanted to, but I want to see where they're going. I want to be surprised by it. So I kind of avoided doing any searches on the guy. In my head, I have been calling him Masked Superstar number 3 or whatever. I'm interested. I liked how he no-sold everything that Boogie and Rocket did. That you mentioned that. He just stared forward coldly. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know where it's going.
But we are still very early in this angle. I say it because I popped myself. I've been calling him the asterisk
instead of the question mark. Yes, I like that.
He's the distant cousin of the late Joseph Hudson, the asterisk. But yeah, we're gonna watch that play out over the next few weeks. Next up, we got Perro facing off with Strictly Business. Heels are pointing out how when it comes to the triple threat match in the national championship tournament, it's going to be a 2-on-1. And Perro's just like, I don't give a beep. Just like, oh, I love Perro, man. He's just a badass.
He was like, I don't care. I'm going to kill you both. And that was almost his exact words. And I was like, I believe you.
Yeah. I certainly didn't mind Odinson being like his backup, but Perro didn't need it. Perro could have he could have been just as threatening without his tag team partner at his side there.
Yeah, I like this segment, and I did like that Vladimir hinted he was going to lay down for Adonis.
There is the hints of that, certainly, and it makes sense, certainly. I don't know, man. Like the Strictly Business stuff, like the internal conflict, not doing it for me right now. It's I don't know where to go. Like I want the focus to be all this moving forward, doing these championship defenses, going to face Trevor Murdoch. And I don't need to know about this internal strife between everyone in Strictly Business and whether there actually is or not conflict. It's played up.
Don't need to do that to like plant conflict between the members of Strictly Business. That's completely unnecessary. And I will say, I like how Joe Galley's taken it to them about their corruption and things like that. But yeah, the only one I can see splitting from them and turning babyface anytime soon would be Camille.
100%.
The rest, they can stay heel, they can get along, they can be evil together and laugh about it. Be classic heels. You know,
Yeah.
be like one of the.
Sorry, I'm losing you a bit there, friend.
Oh, okay. Am I still good?
Yeah. Can you just repeat that last bit?
Yeah, they can be like the villains in the old cartoons.
Yeah. I like what you said about being evil together. I just like suddenly imagine just like a league of shadowy figures just enjoying evil activities.
Yes, it's like Spectre in the James Bond films.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Perro is a beast after this weekend with Effie. So much more intimidating now. I've seen the clips. I've seen the photos from Fear the Gay Agenda. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like they told some stories. There is a great shot of Perro just sitting in like on a throne while Effie just suffers like below the stage. Like Perro is like intimidating enough. Yeah, he's a scary dude. Yeah. But we move on to the main event of the evening. Triple threats all around. They're hyping triple threats. They had a triple threat opener, and now they're main eventing with a triple threat. I'm not going to complain because this was a really good match between JTG, Fred Rosser, and El Rudo. Again, fast action, lots of back and forth. I felt maybe Rosser and JTG weren't as crisp as they were at the pay-per-view, but they're working with a third guy, so I'm not going to nitpick too hard because really otherwise a great match. Finish comes, Rudo clears the ring of Rosser, and that allows JTG to hit the Brooklyn's Edge. One of the coolest finishing moves I have seen in recent memory. But let's talk about the match itself before we praise JTG and gush over the Brooklyn's Edge. What'd you think?
I thought it was a really good match. El Rudo, is that Sam Adonis?
It is, yeah. I guess they gave him they rebranded him because of Chris Adonis.
Yes, that makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah. He's Corey Graves' brother, I believe. And he's actually a very good wrestler. And
I think I knew that, but yeah. Okay.
I think he is. I hear
it rings a bell.
Once I'm done with my comments on the match, I'll look it up. But
yeah.
I thought JTG looked good. There was one moment where JTG did a drop kick. Rosser was just standing there, and the drop kick clearly didn't hit him. So Rosser smartly no-sold it. I think there was a bit of a miscommunication there. It was a bit of a botch. But
we got a confirmation in the chat. Sam Adonis is indeed Corey Graves' brother. Thank you, Ed.
All right, very good. I thought. I think that if outside of that botch, the match was fine, and I liked how Fred Rosser didn't sell it, which goes to show he's a professional because he didn't actually get hit, and everyone knew it, so he didn't sell it. And then he just clotheslined his head off, and I was like, okay, great. And then we had I thought El Rudo looked great in the match, doing the lucha style compared to the other two. I liked that rope walk blockbuster, and I thought it was a good match. All three guys looked pretty good for the most part. I really like Fred Rosser since he started working New Japan. I don't know where this Fred Rosser was in WWE. He clearly never got a chance to do this as Darren Young, because I see a little ring rust in JTG, but JTG has so much charisma and he's still very talented, and his finisher's awesome. So it was good. Yeah. It was a good match, and I like they're giving JTG a shot.
Absolutely. And actually, like you bring up a good point about Fred Rosser and New Japan, and Ed points this out too. Congrats on Rosser getting signed exclusively to New Japan Pro Wrestling and their expansion into the States. Echoing what you said, Josiah, like it was just, he has been so good. Ever since I didn't really think much of what he was doing in WWE, but granted, they much limit what their talent can do. But also, I don't want to suggest that he hasn't grown a lot in recent years, because I know that Fred Rosser has been working so hard. Like, he's been making appearances just about everywhere. And, you know, like, the growth between Darren Young and Fred Rosser, like, it's tangible. You can see it. You know, I do kind of dabble in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but like, I am no means like a knowledgeable fan whatsoever. I am sad to see him go from NWA, because I am a very huge NWA fan. But again, congratulations, Fred Rosser. You deserve all the success in the world, if you happen to be watching our little humble NWA reaction stream.
And it is possible he could still work NWA as well. Like, they've had guys from the New Japan Dojo work the NWA before. So
okay,
well, I think it'd be fine.
I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope to see more of that. But yeah, so one thing I did kind of thought was a little funny, and I thought this was just because they wanted to keep Pope on TV, which is a good enough reason as any, I suppose. Didn't understand why the TV champion was commenting on a triple threat match that was stakes were involved in the national championship. Just a little bit of dissonance there, but again, not enough to really gripe too much about. Galley and Pope did a really great job putting over how good JTG and Fred Rosser was at the pay-per-view. They sold that it was like, it almost stole the show. Frankly, I think it, well, oh man, there's some good matches on the pay-per-view. Kind of hard to pick. But
I was going to say, I think it was Camille and Deeb that stole the show, but that Rosser and JTG was really good. It was a really good match.
Yeah, as I was about to call that the match of the night, Camille and Deeb popped into my head, and that's what stopped me from fully committing to the sentence. But yeah, so again, JTG picks up the finish with the Brooklyn's Edge. Damn cool move. Can't wait to see it again. And then he goes to the podium. He just like cuts a hell of a promo saying he came to the NWA for gold. Here's another guy, man, who grew so much from the WWE. I did not see much of Crime Time. Like, I was kind of like tuned out of WWE at the time. But when I did see it, I was like, okay, yeah, very charismatic tag team. They seem pretty solid. But this is not the JTG I remember seeing. That's for sure.
No, this is a much more serious JTG as well, and not given a stupid gimmick by Vince McMahon. And this is a guy who's clearly doing his own thing. And it's kind of nice to see him have a bit of a resurgence later in his career. He's not old by any stretch. I think he's still in his mid-30s. And good worker. Still very much so works that WWE style. And I don't think he's worked a lot since he was released from WWE. With that said, give him a few months doing this. He's going to be fine again. Like, he'll be right back into the mix of it. And a great get for Billy Corgan to bring him in. And I think he is going to be very good going forward. I love his promos. I liked his match. I liked his presentation. The no nonsense kind of, I'm just going to go out there and go after the gold kind of stuff. And I loved his finisher. So he's over with me.
Lots to like. Absolutely. He's certainly someone I think that they should continue to invest in. And yeah, Rye points out as well, great match. I like this. JTG is a worthy challenger to Nick Aldis down the road. Cut a killer promo post match. I like that. I like JTG versus Nick Aldis. I don't know if Nick Aldis's reign as champion is going to last that much longer, that he will have time for challengers who are new to the NWA. But if it happens, I'm certainly not going to complain. And yeah, Ed, I certainly don't want to like downplay the. I certainly don't mean to downtalk anyone who enjoyed Crime Time. They were certainly a very charismatic team. And yeah, you know, back in the certainly great team.
Yeah, him and Shad were great. That comment,
Mr. J.
Shad. Shad, God rest his soul. They're two quality human beings. That's how I would put it. And it's nice to see JTG getting that success. I like seeing him being showcased on it, not the largest promotion in the world, but a larger promotion, and back in the limelight a little bit.
Absolutely. And final thoughts. What do you think of well, I mean, I guess I asked you what you thought of the show at the top of it, but now that we've ran down the card, what do you think? Final thoughts.
Well, I thought it was good. And it's notable that Nick Aldis didn't even appear on this episode, which goes to show that they are trying to build some new stars and highlight the new blood, which to me is what you have to do. You always have to keep making new stars. And it's one of the things I like about the NWA is that they're not afraid to give people chances. People that you wouldn't normally give a look at in wrestling. And like Trevor Murdoch. Like, who would have thought to bring in Trevor Murdoch in 2019 when the NWA started and start to highlight him as a star when he was a lower mid-card guy at best in WWE. And he's been good, really good in his role. Then you got JTG, another guy, lower mid-card guy at best in WWE. Here he is. He's going to, and I view most titles in the NWA as titles that can close the show because they position all their titles as big deals. And I mean, like any promotion should. And JTG is moving into that upper mid-card main event slot, and he's going to do great. I like it. I just like how they're always trying to give new people a chance. And I like that same thing I like about AEW too. It's like, it's all these young wrestlers and or wrestlers who were overlooked in the past getting a chance to shine again, or guys like Sting who just couldn't end on his own. He's getting to end his career on his own terms now. I like that. Like that's the kind of thing that I like seeing in wrestling. And the NWA is doing a very good job with that. And I will say that again, this felt like an old NWA Powerrr, not pandemic return NWA Powerrr. This felt like pre-pandemic NWA Powerrr. And I liked it. I thought it was a very good show.
I absolutely agree. It's getting back to that place it was pre-pandemic. Josiah, thank you so much for joining me on tonight's edition of PowerrrOut. Before I let you go, let the audience know where they can follow you on social media and the World Wide Web.
You can follow me on Twitter at WR_Central. And you can find my work where I recap NWA Powerrr and all their pay-per-views and whatever random stuff that gets thrown my way at wrestlingobserver.com/f4wonline.com and dailyddt.com.
Much appreciated, friend. Thanks for joining us tonight on PowerrrOut. I said there was going to be a little pledge of $1 for every viewer in our max viewership. You called my bluff, friends. I was going to donate $30 at the end of the broadcast anyway. But all the same, I thank you very much for tuning in despite of the best efforts of my cat, who is trying to ruin every single broadcast that I am a part of lately. But all the same, thanks for tuning into PowerrrOut. We're going to be back next week. We'll see you then.
Adios.